Good day everyone, I'm Alaya May S. D. Guzman from BSE D3B. For today's video, I'll be going to discuss chromosome structure. But before I go to the main topic, let's proceed first with the subtopic, which are what is chromosome structure, structure and functions of chromosome, types of chromosomes, examples of chromosomes, and facts about chromosomes. Next, the learning objectives. At the end of the unit, I am able to define and identify chromosome structure, describe the structure functions of chromosomes, and identify and describe the types of chromosomes. So now, let's proceed to the chromosome structure. Chromosomes are made up of a strand of DNA tightly wrapped around proteins called histones. This makes the DNA compact and able to fit inside the cell's nucleus. A gene is a segment of DNA that encodes for a trait. Therefore, genes are located on chromosomes. On each chromosome is a constriction point called a centromere, which divides the chromosomes into different sections. Human cells normally contain 23 pairs of chromosomes or 46 chromosomes in total. An individual inherits 23 chromosomes from each parent. So from these introductions, we know that chromosomes are made up of a strand of DNA tightly wrapped around proteins called histones. Chromosomes DNA is packaged inside microscopic nuclei with the help of histones. So what histones is? Histones bind to DNA, help give chromosomes their shape, and help control the activity of genes. Most DNA is found inside the nucleus of a cell where it forms the chromosomes. And we all know the human cells normally contains 23 pair of chromosomes or 46 chromosomes in total. An individual inherits 23 chromosomes from each parent. So next, what is chromosome structure? A chromosomes look like a thread and is coiled material made of proteins. Chromosomes are present in the nucleus of the cells and contain the basic genetic material DNA, which passes from one generation to another. While structure, a chromosome has generally 8 parts: centromere or primary constriction or kinetochore, chromatids, chromatin, secondary constriction, telomere, chromomere, chromonema, and matrix. So, from that definition, nalaman natin na ang chromosome ay nakikita sa nucleus of the cells and it contains the genetic material DNA which is nagpapas sa isang generation to another generation. Passed from parents to offspring, DNA contains the specific instructions that make each type of living creature unique. As I said earlier, a chromosome structure has 8 generally parts, which are first, centromere or kinetochore. It is primary constriction at the center to which the chromatids or spindles fiber are attached. Its function is to enable movement of the chromosome during the anaphase stage of a cell division. Next, chromatid. During cell division, a chromosome is divided. Two identical half strands joined by a centromere. A chromatid is each half of the chromosome joined. Each chromatid contains DNA and separates at anaphase to form a separate chromosomes. Both chromatids are attached to each other by the centromere. Next, chromatin. It is complex of DNA and proteins that forms chromosomes within the nucleus of eukaryotic cells. Nuclear DNA is a highly condensed and wrapped nuclear proteins in order to fit inside the nucleus. In other words, it is not present as pre-linear strands. The chromatid consists of DNA, RNA, and protein. Next, secondary constriction. It is generally present for the nucleolar organization. So, centromere or kinetochore, ito yung primary constriction in the center na kung saan yung chromatids or spindle and in spindle fibers ay nagsasama or nag-a-attach to each other. And functions na to ay para makagalaw ang mga chromosome during anaphase stage. Next, chromatid. During cell division, ang chromosomes ay nahahati sa dalawang identical strands na nagjo-join o nagsasama sa centromere. Yung chromatid magko-contains ng DNA at naghihiwalay during anaphase para makabuo ng magkahiwalay na chromosomes. Next, chromatin. Ito yung complex of DNA at proteins na bumubuo ng chromosomes, which nucleus of eukaryotic cells. The chromatin consists of DNA, RNA, and protein. And last, secondary constriction are the constricted or the narrow region found at any point of the chromosomes other than that of centromere. Next, telomere. Telomere is the terminal region of each sides of the chromosome. Next, chromonema. It is a thread-like called filamentous structure along which chromosomes are arranged. Chromonema controls the size of the chromosome and it acts as a site of gene bearing. Chromomeres, these are thread-like structures present of threads or chromosomes. These are arranged in arrow along the length of chromonema. The number of chromosomes is constant and it is responsible for carrying the genes during cell division to the next generation. And last, matrix. Pellicle is the membrane surrounding each of chromosomes. Matrix is the jelly-like substance present inside pellicle. It is formed of non-genetic materials. So, telomere is a region of repetitive DNA sequences at the end of a chromosomes. Telomeres protect the ends of chromosomes from being frayed or tangled. Next, chromonema. It's control the size of the chromosomes. Chromomeres, ang bilang ng chromosomes ay pare-parehas at its responsibility na to ay dalhin ang genes during cell division to the next generation. And last, matrix. Each chromosome is bounded by a membrane called pellicle. It is very thin and is formed of a chromatic substance. This membrane encloses a jelly-like substance which is usually called matrix. Now, let's proceed to the structure and functions of chromosomes. For the first time, Sutton and Bober suggested the role of chromosomes in heredity in 1992. The most important functions of chromosome is to carry the basic genetic material DNA. DNA provides genetic information for various cellular functions. These functions are essential for growth, survival, and reproductions of the organisms. To sum it up, it is very self-explanatory because given that it is the most important functions of chromosome is to carry the basic genetic material DNA. Also, these functions are essential for growth, survival, and reproductions of the organism. Next, histones. Histones and other proteins over the chromosomes. These proteins protect it from chemical examples, enzymes, and the physical forces. Thus, chromosomes also perform the functions of protecting the genetic material DNA from damage during the process of a cell division. Histones and other proteins cover the chromosome. Yung mga proteins na to ay pinoprotektahan o nagpoprotekta sila sa mga chemical, for example, enzymes and physical forces. Next, during cell division, spindle fibers attach to the centromeres contract and perform an important function. The constructions of centromeres of chromosomes ensures precise distribution of DNA genetic material to the daughter nuclei. During cell division and spindle fibers ay nag-a-attach to the centromeres and it performs important functions. And last, chromosome contain histones and non-histones proteins. These proteins regulate gene actions. Cellular molecules that regulate genes work by activating or deactivating these proteins. This activation and deactivation expand or contract the chromosomes. Ang chromosomes ay nagko-contain ng histones and non-histones proteins. Then those proteins regulate gene actions. When we say histone proteins, it is the or are the chief protein components of chromatin, while non-histone proteins are the remnants in chromatin after all the histone proteins have been removed. Next, let's proceed to the types of chromosomes. First, metacentric chromosomes. Metacentric chromosomes have the centromere present exactly in the center. Both the sections are metacentric chromosomes are therefore of equal length. Example, human chromosomes 1 and 3 are metacentric. Next, submetacentric chromosomes. Submetacentric chromosomes, the centromere is not present exactly at the center. The centromere is slightly offset from the center. Both sections are therefore not equal length or are asymmetrical. Examples, human chromosomes 4 to 12 are submetacentric. Next, acrocentric chromosomes have a centromere which is highly offset from the center. Therefore, one of the strands is very long and one is very short. Example, human chromosomes 13, 15, 21, and 22 are acrocentric. Last, telocentric chromosomes. In telocentric chromosomes, the centromere is present at the very end of the chromosomes. Telocentric chromosomes are present in species such as mice. Humans do not possess telocentric chromosomes. So, tatandaan lang natin, pag sinabing metacentric chromosomes, have the centromeres present exactly in the center. Pag sinabi namang sa metacentric chromosomes, the centromere is not present exactly at the center. At kapag sinabing acrocentric chromosomes, have a centromere which is slightly offset from the center. Therefore, yung isang strand ay napakahaba, while the other is napakaliit. And last, telocentric chromosomes. The centromere is present at the very end of the chromosomes or sa hulihan ng chromosomes. Next, let's proceed to the examples of chromosomes. The definition of a chromosome is the thread-like structure of DNA, nucleic acids, and proteins that carries genes, the X or Y gene that determines whether you will be a boy or a girl. It is an example of a chromosomes. Biological sex in healthy human is determined by the presence of the sex chromosomes in the genetic code. 2 X chromosomes makes a girl, whereas an X and Y chromosomes makes a boy. In this way, in the presence or absence of the Y chromosomes in a healthy human that differentiate boy from girl. From this, we know that chromosomes determine whether we are male or female by means of big X and big Y. 2 big X chromosomes make a girl, whereas an X and Y chromosomes make a boy. In this, it examples of chromosomes. And now, let's talk about the facts about chromosomes. Number 1, bacteria have circular chromosomes. Unlike the thread-like strands or chromosomes found in eukaryotic cells, chromosomes in prokaryotic cells such as bacteria typically consist of a single circular chromosomes. Since prokaryotic cells do not have a nucleus, this circular chromosomes is found in the cell cytoplasm. Number 2, chromosomes numbers vary among organisms. Organisms have a set of chromosomes per cell. That number varies across different species and is an average between 10 or 50 total chromosomes per cell. Diploid human cells have a total of 46 chromosomes, 44 autosomes, 2 sex chromosomes. A cat has 38, lily 24, gorilla 48, cheetah 38, starfish 36, king crab 208, shrimp 254, mosquito 6, turkey 82, frog 26, and colibacterium 1. In orchids, chromosome numbers vary from 10 to 250 across species. The others, thought fern, Ophioglossum reticulatum, has the number of total chromosomes with 1,260. So number 1, bacteria have circular chromosomes. A bacterial chromosomes is typically a single circular double-stranded DNA molecule that contains all or most of the genetic information of a cell. Number 2, chromosomes numbers vary among organisms. Different species have different numbers of chromosomes. For example, humans have diploid 2N and have 46 chromosomes in their normal body cells. These 46 chromosomes are organized into 23 pairs, 22 pairs of autosomes, and one pair of sex chromosomes. Next, number 3, facts about chromosome structure. Chromosomes determine whether you are male or female. Male gametes or sperm cells in the humans and other mammals contain one of two types of sex chromosomes, Y or X. Female gametes or eggs, however, contain only the X-sex chromosomes. So if a sperm cells containing an X chromosomes fertilizes, the resulting zygote will be XX or female. Alternatively, if the sperm cell contains Y chromosomes, then the resulting zygote will be XY or male. Number 4, X chromosomes are bigger than Y chromosomes. Y chromosomes are about 1/3 the size of X chromosomes. The X chromosomes represents about 5% of the total DNA in cells, while the Y chromosomes represents about 2% of a cell's total DNA. And number 5, not all organisms have sex chromosomes. Did you know that not all organisms have sex chromosomes? Organisms such as wasps, bees, and ants do not have sex chromosomes. Sex is therefore determined by fertilization. If an egg becomes fertilized, it will develop into a male, and fertilized eggs develops into females. These types of asexual reproductions is a form of parthenogenesis. So, number 3, sinasabi dito na chromosomes determine whether you are male or female, meaning half come one from the mother and other half come from the father. The X and Y chromosomes determine your sex as male or female. When you are born, they are called sex chromosomes. Number 4, X chromosomes are bigger than Y chromosomes. The X chromosomes is significantly longer than Y chromosomes and contains 100 more genes because the additional genes in the X chromosomes have no counterpart in the Y chromosomes. The X genes are dominant. And last, number 5, not all organisms have sex chromosomes. As I said earlier, organisms such as wasps, bees, and ants do not have sex chromosome, then sex determined by fertilization. So that's all for today's video. Again, I'm Alayami Estigisman from BSED 3B. Thank you for watching and God bless. Bye!